everybody, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. And today's video is on one micronutrient deficiency that could be the root cause of depression and low mood in somebody. And it's not just clickbait, this is absolutely true. I'm also going to talk about how to test for this, food sources that are high in it, and why someone might get a deficiency in this. So depression, it is a big topic, and we're just talking about one little piece of the conversation, because if this is ruled out, if somebody has a good nutrient store of this nutrient, there still are other nutrition and lifestyle components that could contribute to depression and might be the sole cause of depression in some individuals. Certainly life events factor into this. There can be hormone imbalances, gut imbalances. There are a lot of possible root causes to depression. So I just want to let you know that, so that at the end of this video, if this isn't an issue for you, you also understand that, don't completely rule out functional nutrition, because there's a lot of tools in our toolbox that can help with depression. So I'm Ashley Oswald, registered dietitian and founder of Oswald Digestive Clinic, where we help people improve and eliminate bothersome gut issues like gas, bloat, diarrhea, and or constipation. And you can work with us one of two ways. You can schedule a free gut health call below to work with our clinic one-on-one, and we are accepting insurance now, which is very exciting. Or you can join us in our Heal Your Gut course, which the link is also below to learn more and possibly join us inside that course, where you can completely self-study and go at your own pace. So without further ado, let's dive right in and talk about this one micronutrient that could cause depression. And the micronutrient we're talking about is vitamin B12. So a vitamin B12 deficiency can actually damage this thing called the myelin sheath, and this covers your nerves. It helps to protect your nerves. So if this gets damaged, those nerves can get damaged, and this can lead to things like depression, poor memory, actual brain damage, fatigue, tingling, numbness, and even ear ringing. There's some research showing a B12 deficiency could be the cause of ear ringing. Also, if you have physical signs that look something like these images here, so these little white bumps on your skin, or this off pigmentation, like this hyperpigmentation, or little blotches, or cracks in the corner of your mouth, those can all also be signs of a vitamin B12 deficiency. So now you're probably wondering, how do you know if you have a vitamin B12 deficiency? So this can be tested, but some tests are better than others. So I want to make sure to talk to you about this, because the tests that you're likely getting in a just kind of general doctor's office are not going to be as sensitive or picking up on a deficiency as early as it should. So in other words, if this test, by time it is showing a deficiency, you likely already are having some damage. So there are 4 tests that I want to talk about. The first one is a serum B12, and that's the one that I just mentioned, that for 50% of people with subclinical vitamin B12 deficiency, this is going to show up as normal. So again, by the time that lab shows a low level, you're already having damaged this myelin sheath and likely also having symptoms from that. So the second one that I want to talk about is the CBC. So it's complete blood count, which you might have already from just your conventional doctor. Look on that and see if you see something called MCV. And if that's high, that can be a sign of a vitamin B12 deficiency. Another lab is homocysteine. So if homocysteine is high, it could be a sign of either vitamin B12 or folate, so you have to dig a little bit deeper for that one. Now this last one is the gold standard. It's something called methylmalonic acid. It's organic acid testing. So methylmalonic acid needs enzymes in B12 in order to be converted into succinate. And so this is a urine test, and if too much of the methylmalonic acid is spilling over into the urine, urine, that means that you don't have enough of that middle vitamin B12 to convert the methylmalonic acid to the succinate, and thus it's an indicator of a vitamin B12 deficiency. So this is the best test to get. It doesn't tell us how much supplementation is needed to replace a low level, but it is the most precise and accurate lab test to show if you have a deficiency. And then we can go based upon kind of general standard replacement amounts that typically work for most people, and then we just recheck the lab and see if it's improving. And once it's improved, then we'll either just decrease to a maintenance dose or make sure that an individual is eating foods that contain adequate vitamin B12, because after a deficiency is replaced, ideally, hopefully we can just keep up that nutrient level by using food, right? So let's next talk about foods that contain vitamin B12. So the best food sources of vitamin B12 are animal products. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, you are going to have a harder time getting adequate vitamin B12. So you have to be very mindful of this. Some vegans, vegetarians are likely eating fortified foods with B12 or getting it in a multivitamin, or maybe from vegan sources, which I'll talk about in a bit. There are other reasons, even if somebody is eating enough meat products, why they might have a vitamin B12 deficiencies, and we're going to talk about that next. So you really just need about the size of your palm in meat a day. Liver is a really great source. How to make liver? First of all, buy really good quality, so know that the animal was raised well. I look for, typically, if you're doing beef, like a grass-fed beef, think about the natural way this animal would be living to try to get a good quality liver. And then you can either just saute it with onions, which is a popular way to eat it, or you can put it on skewers and roast it over an open fire and then put some salt and pepper on it. That's another tasty way. Or oysters are a great source of vitamin B12. And then a variety of other meats. Dairy has some. And then for vegan sources, some mushrooms are a good source, or nutritional yeast. Often nutritional yeast is fortified with some nutrients, including vitamin B12. So you might just want to check the quality of what it's being fortified with, which fortification basically means that this is being added to the product. It's not being removed and added back. It's being actually like a supplement is added into the food. And so if you do eat meat products pretty regularly and you find out or think you might have a vitamin B12 deficiency, it could be for a number of reasons. One reason might be that either you're not making enough stomach acid or you're on a medication that's suppressing your stomach acid. And you need the stomach to be functioning properly to be releasing this thing called intrinsic factor, which helps to cleave the B12 off of protein. So when you eat the meat, the stomach's job is to cleave that off then, and then it freely flows down to the third part of your small intestine, that ileum, where the B12 is absorbed. Which brings up the next point. If you've struggled with like IBD or some other gut issues, and you had part of your intestines removed, in specific the ileum, the third part of the small intestine, this could be causing a B12 deficiency for you, because that's the part that's needed in order for it to get absorbed. Or if you have Crohn's and that area of your intestine is often inflamed, that could be a root cause as well. Individuals struggling with bacteria overgrowth or yeast overgrowth and have just general malabsorption could be struggling from the malabsorption factor with that ileum again, but also it tends to go hand in hand, bacteria overgrowth, with low stomach acid. So it might be a double whammy there. And then when I talk about the medications for stomach acid, I'm talking about proton pump inhibitors and H2 blockers. So things like Prilosec is a very popular one. And I'd also like to note that as people get older, so over the age of 60, it's estimated that 1 in 5 individuals do have low stomach acid. So the body naturally starts to make less stomach acid. So that's why elderly might be at higher risk of not only a vitamin B12 deficiency, but also of mineral deficiencies that we need that stomach acid to really start the breakdown process for, like zinc and magnesium and some others. And then lastly, it could be a genetic predisposition as to why someone might have a more difficult time getting adequate B12 from food sources. So if you like this information and you want to learn more about depression, I did create a really comprehensive presentation about this on everything from the gut depression connection, inflammation depression connection, lifestyle and nutrition and lifestyle interventions that help increase happy hormones, and the best eating plan for depression and specific foods that can help with depression and why, additional supplement considerations, additional lab testing considerations, and more. So if you are interested, you can purchase that at the link below. It's for a really low price and it helps to support our clinic. So we really thank you if you choose to support us in that way. So I hope you found this video helpful. I want to thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell next to the subscribe button to be notified of our new videos every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next week, Tuesday at 10 a.m.